Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and hold on just a minute. Bookmap. All right, so we're going to go through live analysis here like we do every day, except for Wednesdays and Thursdays, where we have live trading by Stocks Trader on Wednesday with Jay Trader tomorrow, Thursday with Scott Bolsini, futures trader, and they will go through their way of reading order flow. The Bookmap education, these webinars, these live analysis webinars, are educational course. That's what it all revolves around. So you have the course and then you have the live analysis, so you can apply what you've learned from the course. You can ask questions. We will look at trading opportunities. We will look at how to manage those trades, but none of our rooms are trading rooms. It is so you can apply what you have learned from these traders and from us here at Bookmap, and you can apply that to anything. All right, so order flow is applicable to just to any trading strategy. So you're going to be looking at details in the order book, in the auction, and be able to very successfully apply that to your trading strategy to get more insight. All right, so let's go through the disclosures and then I'll demo that for you. We'll look at candlestick pattern, for example, right off the bat, and we'll go through how that can give you an edge by understanding what's inside that candlestick. Candlesticks are very opaque. Okay, I'll demo that just a second. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in here. Let's take a look. We had 8:30 data here, and look what happened. All right, guys, this is again even fundamental releases. Good morning, Dustin. And let's see here in Discord who else is out and about. Sorry, guys. I'm good in Discord, right? Yeah, screen is up and oh sorry, guys, in Discord I've been talking and you didn't hear. So anyway, we're up and running now, and was just talking about our education and what we're going to be going through here today, how to get an edge with the order flow. All right, and this is applicable to everything. All right, so yep, thanks, Doug. No sound. Lip reading is a real skill these days. Okay, yeah. All right, let me go through the risk disclosure one more time for you guys. I just need to do this. It's general disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so we were just talking about what this is, what these webinars are, and how order flow can be applied to any strategy, and that is our goal here, so that we have Jay Trader tomorrow trading stocks and his strategies. Guys, we have later after this webinar, right after this webinar, Tom B, he'll be looking at volume profile and trading, or looking for opportunities. We don't trade. We don't have trade recommendations. That's not what this is about. You're not going to learn. All right. What you want to do is absorb some of the content in here, and hopefully it's helpful for you and that you can apply it to your trading method. And we'll go through that example with candlesticks this morning. So anyway, Tom B will go through it with volume profile. Doug will go after that in our Discord room. Guys, we have a full lineup now in our Discord room. Doug's going to look at order flow around his options strategies. Okay, he'll be looking at the underlying stocks, and he'll be trading those, but he's looking at options strategies. Very unique, and no one else I've seen is doing something like this. So I really encourage you to come check out these other rooms that we have on our Discord channel. All right, just look for Bookmap on Discord. I think it's right on the home page there. If we go to bookmap.com, yeah, right here you'll find the link right at the top, Discord room. If you don't see it there, click on the more button and then under community, Discord chat room right here. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Okay, so well, look at the big move here. All right. Now you can just get information right off of this, right off the bat. You're getting transparency that I just don't see in other platforms. Look, it's just fact. Other platforms aren't going to show this. Look where the liquidity is. Okay, there's liquidity in these areas right here. 1, 2, 3. Look at the data release here. Okay, it was the PMI information this morning, right? We had the purchasing managers for production, right? Or the producer price index. Okay, so before the data release, 8:30, look at everyone pulling their liquidity. Why did it come up into here? Because that's where the liquidity is. And why did it kind of stop in here? Well, even though it did not trade in here, okay, I don't see anything that traded in here. In fact, let me add a new column in here, make it chart range. Nothing traded in here. But why this is just really kind of weird to me. Not only did it not trade, but why did the best bid or best offer the best bid came up here. So there's the best offer is actually down here. So there was some transactions in here, but anyway, nothing traded up here. Trades happened afterwards here, about 12 or 13 seconds afterwards. Some happened before as well, and some stops were triggered before. And this is what unfolded in the marketplace. Okay, and for these seconds in here, I don't see any transactions whatsoever. Right, and let's just zoom in a little bit, and yeah, we don't see any here. Just massive spread, and then some start to trade in here. Okay, so now where did price go after this? Well, people came in after the number. Liquidity down here at 4020, then 440, and then 450. High liquidity here, also 60. Where did we go? High liquidity at 450, 4050. Okay, pull back, more liquidity in here, and then we can see the back and forth in here. Okay, from all of this price action in here. Okay, from where they started to buy or where they started to transact in here. Guys, this is order flow. Why did price come back down to here? It's because of these transactions. Okay, it's as simple as that. And let's take a look. See how it just dipped below, then it bounced back up above, dipped back down into high liquidity here at 20, which was here before the number as well, even a little bit lower, 15. Okay, and then they come back in the book here, they are tested, and price bounced. Okay, now price has kind of moved on from all of this data in here, and although this line is still important here, we see really price bashing around, accepting above, stopping everybody out. Here are the stop runs, trading back down below, and then trading back up above. Another beautiful stop run above here. So they're just bashing people around, stopping them out on either side of this line here at our 40.27 or so. All right, so and I don't see any follow through at the moment. It's just back and forth in here. Here's our 9:30 cash open, accepted above, stop below, just like we were just talking. And then yeah, right now what's going on? Well, let's take a look here, right? So we're down below this, but I see a lot of buying in here. And boy, that's about it. I mean, there's really not a whole lot going on here at the moment, to be honest, in this order flow. Okay, so even though that we see this buying coming in, well, we need to see buyers come back in again. Okay, you can see the sellers came in and dropped it really quickly here. Okay, but we're looking to see for buyers to come back in and test back up to 40.28 or maybe 40.30 here. Now, if they cannot, we're looking for sellers down at the bottom edge here at 40.24, and then we should be able to see price slip down to 22 and 20. Okay, now I just don't see anything in the order flow telling us right now. Okay, so here comes some selling now, but look at the selling. Okay, it's not very much. Okay, look at the offer here at 26. Okay, it's not really much here to take a look at. Okay, so and we see price just kind of, you know, doesn't really react too much to it here. There's some more selling. All right, let's see it, sellers. Let's see if you can drop it down into 22. And you know, these are small moves here, but you know, we're just trying to read the players on these small moves right now. However, these small moves here can be all related to the higher time frame. Okay, here we go. Here are sellers 22, 20. Let's see if they get down to 21 and 20. Below the swing here, and I want to see a stop run. We haven't seen a more significant stop run here since back above our line here at 20. It's like 27 3/4 or so. Yeah, thanks, JC PPI. Yeah, really important one, really forward-looking. Economic release, you know, so you can understand what the purchasing managers are doing, and that gives a lot of insight. Let's see, does liquidity, good morning, Tony, does liquidity on both sides usually indicate consolidation? Example, stay away. No, liquidity on both sides just means that it is pretty balanced in here. And then we're looking for some sort of imbalance in here, right, to kind of disrupt the balance. Someone maybe has some sort of insight, or you know, they're searching for stops or whatever it is. That's why you get, you know, moves to the outside of the range and then come back into the range, because it does not accept outside the range. Okay, there's you know, not enough players that agree that you know, it's worth accepting outside of the range and going higher. Okay, so we can go through this example. This is actually a really good question. Okay, so here we go. See how look at high liquidity here at 24.5. Okay, so there's an imbalance there now, right? Well, look what happened. Sellers took them on. All right, so now that's the event that we're interested in, this 24.5 here. Okay, we're going to be zooming in. Now this is small time frame or low time frame here, but it doesn't matter. This is the same stuff on the higher time frames as well. Okay, so we went a little bit lower, still more selling pressure. Now, if we get buyers back up above here, then we should be able to get them to slip it up into 26 or maybe even 27.5. Okay, so this would be kind of a trap here. And then now we're looking to see if we get our buyers up here and then the move higher up into 27.5. Okay, so and see the imbalance starting to come in a little bit there on the bid as well. Not much, but a little bit, right? See it right there? And then we're looking for this move into 27.5. Okay, so this was the key right here into read, and now see them pulling here. Watch them take it a little, try to take it a little higher here, 28. Okay, found some sellers up here now. Okay, so this was high enough here to find some sellers, drive it back into the mean here, basically at 25. Okay, so it's always this auction and this balance in here, or imbalance. Look for the imbalance. See how the liquidity is here now? Okay, so where would balance be? It would be between these two areas of high liquidity. It'd be in the middle here, which is our high volume node here, or at least in this view. Let's see. Yeah, it's the high volume node for the session here. Maybe it's up here, 35. Anyway, it's a high volume node, that's for sure. And just understand what a high volume node means. It just means its price is accepted in this area. So if you understand that price is accepted in this area because it trades a lot in here, well, then areas outside of that acceptance means that if there's nothing new in the world here, or traders don't think differently of the product or the instrument, then you're looking for a mean reversion. Okay, so now this came out of the blue here. All right, this was just a lot of sellers all of a sudden coming in, and now see what they're doing though. They're driving it away, okay, from this area here. Okay, they drove it down to 20 or 40-20 area. Okay, it looks like there's more selling here. Well, let's see them drive it down to 15. Now watch this. Down at 15, we're probably going to find some buyers, maybe a little bit in front here. And they will probably try to scoop it up and drive it right back to 20, or maybe even back into our 25 area here. Okay, because if there's nothing new in the world here, or no one rethinks this instrument here, then you're going to get traders who are, this is at a discount down here. This is like truly like anything in the real world that if there's a sale on sandals or soap or whatever it is at the supermarket, avocados, then people are going to, this is where you're going to find demand. Okay, supply and demand. All right, so and this always this kind of back and forth. Okay, so anyway, like, so we didn't even get down to 15. We already saw buyers come in and pick it up a little bit here. And let's see if we might get our more sellers in here and make it down to 15 now. Impulse move, pull back, impulse move. Okay, so trying to see, because looks like sellers want to drive it away. It's heavy, more selling than there is buying here. Okay, so let's read this auction. All right, well, you can see them at 20 here. See how they were on the bid here at 20. Now they're on the offer here at 20, and also here. Look at this player here. High liquidity here, pulls, adds lower, pulls, adds lower, pulls, adds lower, etc. Okay, 162 on the offer there, and it's transacting. It's finding some buyers. Okay, not enough though, so we got some selling. They're still in here. All right, so let's see if sellers can come in here right around at this 19 level, and a 19 and a quarter, and then they'll drop it into 17 and maybe 15. Okay, we'd be looking for that. That's a possible scenario. Okay, another scenario is, well, maybe we do find more buyers up here at 20, take these guys on, and then trade back into 22 and our 25 level, right? So we got to go through those scenarios, and it's the second scenario is what's unfolding here. We did find those buyers. Okay, we're already back at 22. Okay, I'm still looking for them to take it back higher, back to here, 25, and there it is. Okay, so there's your mean reversion trade. I mean, that's pretty picture perfect. Guys, I was looking for, well, it was a scenario, right? We never know, but the scenario was strong move, pull back, strong move, and then a move back into 25. Well, the buyers didn't have that, or the sellers didn't have it to drive it lower here. We already see the buyers driving it right back in. Okay, now we're getting enough buyers here. They'll probably drive it to the other side of the range here at 28. Okay, looking for it. We're already above this point of control, and we're still finding buyers. Okay, well, they will explore the outer edges here of the range. So maybe this is where price is too high for more buyers. Okay, I'm looking for a stop run above here. So we'll get buyers up here, right? But it's going to be not people entering or buying because they think it's worth this. They're buying because they're covering. Okay, and then maybe it will fail and come right back into 25. Right, these are some of the scenarios here. Here's our stop run, right, above our range. Okay, here's the test of the outside of the range. Still looking for a little higher here. Let's get up to our 30 level here, and we'll see probably some more stops. Now the question is up here, is this high enough for sellers to think, well, yeah, I don't agree with that price, and then trade it back down to 25? Okay, or maybe even a little bit lower. Still finding buyers, still looking for 30. All right, does that make sense? I mean, I think this was a pretty good example. We're talking about auction market. There's our 30. Okay, and we're still finding some buyers. All right, now I would anticipate a move right back down to this liquidity here as well. Okay, back down to 27 basically, maybe 26. Interesting. Look at that on the bid. Heavy liquidity here on the bid. Larger players in here trying to see. This is the skew in the auction that we're talking about before, right? Look at this bid in here. Now it's a battle in here. There's high liquidity up here at 31.5 as well. Okay, I think these guys are probably going to pull that liquidity, but we'll see. They transacted. Okay, they stayed in the book and transacted. Now what about this guy? Now our large lot tracker is showing about 200 of these contracts here as one individual actor. Okay, and another actor up here holding about 120 or so, or 100. Yeah, thanks W Black. Like yeah, it's this is auction market theory. It's don't let the the name like auction market theory sound all complex and scare you away. It's really simple stuff. It's just an auction and common sense. How is Bookmap different than Jigsaw? There's so many different ways. Well, first off, I think there's other products out there, and this is they don't have the accuracy, and I mean I've seen them, and there are many other copies that are out there, and one of the big distinctions with Bookmap is the way that we can zoom in, or the way that we collect the data. Basically, zooming in is nice, and it's amazing to see this down at microsecond or nanosecond resolution. That's great, but it's truly at the most binary levels. This is how the auction works. This is what's unfolding. Okay, and look at how these are spaced apart. We don't know if this is like maybe an algo selling, or someone came in and just hit the bid hard, and then it's just finding liquidity and trading, and then finding liquidity and trading. But doesn't matter. What matters is everything is recorded here. It is extremely accurate. The other products that I've seen out there, they don't even come close. The data here is aggregated by tick at best. So that means that, see, look at this in here. See, between these transactions here, well, between this one and this one, I don't see too much happening. But here, between these transactions in here, and these are all the transactions. They're all in here. Okay, but see the changes in the heat map, okay, in here as well. Okay, this is updating here where tick data will not update like this. So you're seeing changes in the order book without any transactions. Tick data has to have that transaction take place, or tick movement take place, and it's not showing you the details in the auction. This is very, very accurate. That's a big distinction, and that's due to our past. Our past is comes from algorithm or algorithmic trading, and we were able to we're not able to read the performance of our algos, so we developed this visualization for it, and then we showed this to other traders. They liked it, and they said if you made a platform out of that, we would buy it. So we did, and we've just added so much more along the way. So we do have, as you can see in here, a very professional dome now as well, that's equal to any other dome or even exceeds it in my opinion. Where is it here? The Dome Pro, here it is. Okay, a lot of nice features in here that other domes don't have. Hi Stefan. Yeah, well, volume profile, Paresh, like here's our dome. Guys, if you're interested in this and comparing it to others, here I can show you where there's more information on this. There's videos. We have there's a kind of a webinar on it, a couple of different webinars on it as well. It is very detailed, and there's a lot going on in here, right? So but comparable to any other product, and then some. All right, so now volume profile. Yeah, okay, we have some volume profiles in here, and for the chart range and session range, but the heat map and the way that we're recording this data is a big distinction between us and others. This kind of accuracy in here you're not going to get. Being able to understand this auction at this level, you're just not going to be able to get, and that matters because like this is the way it's recorded, and then plotted. So if it's not recorded properly, then the data is not going to be proper. Okay, there's going to be discrepancies, so that makes a big difference. Okay, we have stops and icebergs, being able to see, like for example right now, that move down here, it ran right into stops down here. Okay, at you see 102 here and two different transactions, and then there's another one a little bit below it here for 221 transaction. That's pretty detailed information. Okay, we have all sorts of add-ons that others don't have. You can see in here in the add-on section. I mean, here I'll even show you here. It's probably better. Well, you can go through here at bookmap.com and get these questions answered. We can go to the knowledge base here, okay, and you can go to the add-on section in here. All sorts of add-ons in here. Here's another big distinction between us and others is we have an API. It's a Java-based API, and you can code your own. There's now a bridge to Python, so you can code your own add-on indicators. It's level 0 and level 1 API. What does that mean? Level 0 means you can actually make a connection to an exchange. All right, so if you're interested in that. Level 1 means the add-ons within Bookmap. Okay, those are a few big distinction. We have a replay mode. Okay, that is not available as well. And we have all sorts of filters for the volume, for and all these different add-ons in here as well. Okay, for the heat map, for the volume, all sorts of filters in here. We have the cumulative volume delta in the subchart, and I mean, the list goes on and on. I would, hey, go. I would encourage you, go try, give a trial of Bookmap for a month and compare it to others, and see what you like and what you don't like. Okay, another thing is our education. Okay, we have all of this educational course, as well as the Discord. Okay, we have people presenting from 8:30 in the morning East Coast time until the close. All right, so we have all sorts of different traders in there. One's a crypto trader at 8:30, Rain, and then we have these advanced webinars. We have Scott Pulcini, we have Jay Trader, then we have Tom B, then we have Doug, options with Doug, and then we have the Algo Boys. The Algo Boys are from 2:30 to the close. Okay, so lots of stuff in here. So we have a robust support and community. GNOME, yeah, I would suggest that you use Rhythmic data with, and you can connect to your. This is again another advantage, trading from Bookmap from the either the DOM or from the chart and heat map, and managing those trades in many different ways. So the yeah, get the Rhythmic data. Well, it depends on the price of the Rhythmic data. Can be $39 a month if you just trade the CME instruments, not the crude oil and gold and bonds and all that kind of stuff, but just like the ES, NQ, Russell, and then euro dollar, etc. Those are all available for $39 a month from Rhythmic. Okay, and then you could also just get the Bookmap global version for $50, so it'd be $80. Okay, yeah, so that's how much it would cost you. You can get it for $80 altogether per month. Okay, and then you're also going to get all of this education that comes along with it. Okay, and community. All right, guys. Look, there's a lot of comparisons, and like if you go here down to compare these different products in here, click here. Just read through it. You'll see the differences compared to others out there. All the different add-ons, all the different, even the core features in here. I mean, very, very different. Okay, we come from a different background. All right, as well as all the other things that I mentioned. Anyway, guys, let's move on and get into this data in here and price action. Yeah. I need to cover those things with you guys. I really, and I hate to go over all those things because look what we missed, and that's what we're here for, is to read the live order flow and give insight to where price might go due to understanding the order flow in here. All right, so we saw this move to the downside. We're looking for the mean reversion back to this area in here where it dropped from, and then we were looking for the move back up into 30 up here, which all unfolded. Okay, and we saw it in real time, and we were looking for it to unfold. Now we got some back and forth in here. Price went a little bit higher up into where? Look where it dropped from here, right into it, 34. Lots of buying up here, lots of buying. Unable, even the buying in here looks good. Now this is kind of a hard read, I think, up here, because this is a strong move here, not so strong here, not strong. Okay, a pullback, not a whole lot of selling. Okay, and then strong buying up in here, but they failed to get back up above. They failed to even make a higher high here. Okay, up into the swing here, or this swing, from the high of the cash session here. They failed to do it. or not from the high of the cash session, we went a little bit higher. So what did we get? All right, so, well, if it fails, okay, and then look at all this cluster of I know this is hindsight, guys, but we go through it in real time all the time. Here's our failure, okay, and then look at this whole cluster of buying. Look at the sellers starting to move it away. Look at the retest back to that cluster and that swing in here. Okay, and then more sellers here. Great, more sellers here, looking for them to come down to the bottom of the range, take some off. Well, what happened? We came all the way back down to where? This high volume node at 40.25, and it bounced. So there's another beautiful range bound trade back into this high volume node here. Okay, and again, it's not technical stuff. You might not like volume profile, but this is giving some insight of value of the instrument. Where is the most traded level in here? Okay, well, we can look at it, right? And we can look at the volume profiles giving us some insight in here. Okay, this is another one of value up here as well. Okay, around this 31 area. And what about outside down here? Yeah, I just don't see a lot of volume there. Okay, so look at the profile. It's a pretty ugly P-shaped profile, but there's just more trading up here basically. Okay, maybe you don't like volume profile, fine. This is what I was wanted to do from the very beginning, was go over candlesticks. Okay, this is a 5-minute candlestick chart. Okay, let's look and see what's inside the candle. Okay, because without it, this is what we get. Okay, and we'll take off stops and icebergs for now too on chart. Okay, so here's our candlestick chart. All right, so let's try to read the candles. Here's our data. Here's our pullback. And we just went through in detail like why these pullbacks took place, where, and then once you understand why, you can start to look for order flow trading or behavior of others to react to these areas in here. Looks rather random in here by looking at the candlestick chart. All right, so we know there's some wicks and selling up here. We came up here and it failed once here. Okay, it did not make a higher high. Did not make a higher or a lower low here either. Okay, so we did not make a higher high here either. So we're, you know, on the candlestick in the range, we're not getting too much out of it here. We do know that there's some selling pressure that came in, and they just traded back down to 25. Okay, we would assume there would be a bounce in here and maybe trade back up into maybe 30, or this kind of high volume node, maybe back up to about 34. Okay, and retest that here. All right, so that's our candlestick, right? And we see the buying pressure come in already. All right, so where might it go? Well, we can look at the profile to give us some insight, but let's look and dig deeper here. Okay, let's look at the price action. This is a great area, 32.5 for it to come to. Let's look at the volume dots, and then let's look at the heat map. Where is the liquidity? Okay, well, it's here at 31.25 and also here at 33 basically. Okay, so inside this candle, look at the buying pressure. All right, let's see them try to trade it back up into these areas we were just talking about, 31 and 33. Okay, we're almost at 31 already. And let's see if we can get some more buying up here. Okay, due to our candle, our wick, our rejection off of this level in the candle, and seeing this buying within the candle. Okay, and then looking for this as the target of liquidity, 31 and 33. Okay, and we know that the buying's not bad. It's not bad in here. Okay, so there's more selling over here. You can see it in the dots. You can see it in the bars. Okay, but still looking to see if we can get buyers maybe off of this again here. Let's see, right off of here. Right, again, we're pinpointing these areas here, right here. there's structure in here as well. Okay, there's this kind of back and forth, and this is our breakout here, right? So here's our pullback. Now we're looking for the move back to top and to 31 and 33. Okay, now let's go over the opposite scenario. What if that doesn't unfold? What would it look like? Right? And we'll look for one of these scenarios to unfold. Okay, so our primary scenario is 31 and 33. Our secondary scenario is sellers back down below here. Why here? Because this is where those buyers came in. Maybe 20, yeah, around 26 and a quarter, 26 and a half. Okay, see our first move is already unfolded, still looking for a little bit higher here. Now, of course, this is smaller time frame stuff. It doesn't matter though. This is all the same. It's all fractal on higher time frames. Okay, so now hasn't come up to 33 yet, but it came up to 31. You can take some off there. You can reduce some risk. If you see more buying coming in and a bid really looks great as well, you know, and you can get into another position as well, but still have part of the first one open. You know, there's all sorts of ways to manage it and scale in or scale out of your position. It's up to you. Right? We're just going to read the order flow and give insight to where it might go next. Now our secondary scenario is actually starting to look pretty good as well. Okay, so if we get our selling down here around this 27, okay, and then we'd be looking for a move to back down to about 24 and a half. Well, doesn't look like it's going to unfold. We got on the bid here. We got our buyers coming back in. So we're back to that primary scenario here. I liked this selling in here. That's why I mentioned it. Okay, right in here and here. And this is not a whole lot of buying, but they're able to bring it right back up to 31. Okay, it traded to our, well, not 33, it was 32 and 3/4. That's where that liquidity was right here. Okay, and that did transact. Okay, we didn't really quite zoom in and get the proper level here. I said 33, but it's really this liquidity I was looking for. Okay, that's the target, and that has unfolded. Okay, now look at our secondary scenario here. Okay, looking good. All right, so back to 24. 25 is a high volume node, but look at liquidity in here. It's more down here. 24. Okay, bottom of the range here, bottom of the candle as well. All right, looking good. I mean, it looked good once it started to push through here. Okay, yeah, I know it bugs me, like once it's already moving here, but we covered the scenario and what it would look like, and this is exactly what it would look like. So it basically did both of the things we were looking for. First was the move up. I thought we'd get the move maybe down here, but we got one more push up, and then now we got the move back down. Okay, so both scenarios actually played out here, and it's still pushing lower here. So let's see if we can get more sellers. Just can't speak quick enough. So sellers came in and pounded it down to 20 and transacted. Okay, so and that's where these buyers originally came in on that. We saw this move unfold. Okay, back down to 20. Look at the offer in here. Okay, so more sellers. Let's see if we can get down to our 15 level now. I like it. I like it because of this offer here. and I'm not seeing any buyers in here. So where are the buyers? They're down here at 15. No one else is interested right now. Look at this, right? This is, again, understanding the auction in here. No one else is interested in buying right now. Sellers have this in control here. Okay, so we're looking for 15. Okay, moving price away from this area here right now. That's what we're looking for. And you need big selling. Okay, you need a strong offer. Okay, and the reaction to this strong offer is more selling, market selling. And then we should trade to 15. Okay, it looks like we're getting a little bit of covering right now. Okay, I don't see as new buying coming in here, but I do see like it's kind of just slowing down right now. Okay, that offer is strong. Here's another reason why we're slowing down right here. Well, you can look at your volume profile, sure, but it's the swing here, right? Do traders want to take it below the swing? Do sellers want to take it below the swing? Yeah, I think they're gonna. Here they go. All right, let me get back to some questions here. Yes, those were iceberg orders earlier that we saw. Chris? So anyway, guys, if you still have questions about the pricing and all that kind of stuff, or you want to compare it to different products out there, I gave you the references, and then also just reach out to support@bookmap.com. They have the materials for you as well. Guys, there's our move into 15. Okay, and let's see. Still looking for more selling pressure. Let's see. We might get some buyers come in here and try to move it back to the first one. Would be this little knob or nudge or whatever it is here. This kind of volume profile here, and it makes sense. This is where I'm going to go into volume profile a bit. Yeah, okay, the visual is nice here, but it's really well, all it means is this trading activity in here, and where it dropped from here, this is where the sellers moved it away. So if we get buyers to come back in, that's where we're looking for them to retest it, right? Which looks pretty good, 19. Okay, so you don't have to really study your auction or your auction market theory, nor your volume profile, market profile type of stuff. Just understand the meanings of them. All right, let me get to some questions here in YouTube. We got a lot of questions. Yeah, see, Captain Price already knows as well about the limitations on other products and their heat map. I mean, I've seen them, and they just these kinds of details in here offer a lot of transparency. If that makes sense. Let's see, about Theta Badger, about 30 breaking, and then they flip the order book. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like this was our secondary scenario in here, right? And then we were just looking for a move back down to here, the high volume node, right? Just to here, bottom of the range, basically. But you'll note this. This is something to really look at again and again and again. Like, you know how we were looking for, well, we were looking for just the move up into these levels here, right? 31 and 33, which was basically, it was, the liquidity was truly at 32 and 3/4, and that did transact. We were looking for those moves only for now. Okay, now it's still, even in your candlestick in here, it's still made a lower high in here, and these guys are kind of on the hook here. All of this buying here above our line here at 27.5, 28, that we put in here early on in the webinar, and you know, due to the data and what was transacting around the data release. So here's what happened at 30. Okay, well, basically it's still in play, looking for the kind of the move higher in here, but this is where the sellers came in, and they're moving it away quickly, right? And they trade it back down into this level, kind of where it broke out from, the bottom of these ranges in here, and we're just looking for that move back down to 25, right? The high volume node around here, 25. Now, and we got that was pretty easy, I think, for the sellers to take care of. But look at the selling pressure continue. Okay, you'll see this so many times. This is the kind of false move, and then this here, due to all that buying in here looking for the reversal, they're getting stopped out on the way down. So it's not a flip of the order book. The order book flip is a very different thing. This isn't really a good example either, but they're on the bid down here and they flip to the offer side, and you know, basically dissuade any buyers from coming in here whatsoever to try to trade it back into these areas. Okay, so that's what an order book flip will do, and in essence that's what this did here. We were looking for that move into 15 as well. Okay, now I'm missing the move back, because what happened? Well, these guys pulled their liquidity. We're at the bottom of the range. We're not getting more selling. We're getting buyers coming in, and they just very successfully moved it right back to our high volume node again. All right, and let's see, okay, if they can even bring it up higher here, not just 27, but back to 30. Okay, it looks pretty good. Look at them on, see now, look at them on the, they're on the offer here, now they're on the bid here. So, you know, really choppy environment in here, but you know, we're reading the order flow correctly, and just looking for these smaller moves to kind of first unfold, and going through our scenarios in here, what this look like. Right? Guys, does this make some sense here? Instead of like having to memorize some candlestick pattern and then not knowing if it's going to work or not, you can just read the transactions and the limit order book within the candle. You can still trade your candles the way that you usually trade them. However, you're going to get so much more insight to seeing what's really between the candles here, in the order book and in the volume. Okay, so this move to the downside here, we're not looking at buying down here. We're looking for this move to trade down into 20, which happened very quickly, but then we're looking for the next move because of the order book and the heavy selling. We're looking for 15. Okay, and we got that. I mean, you know, it's not bad, right? It's not bad. That's a 10-point move from 25 to 15. And then we saw some of these other moves in here too. So the most important thing that I find when reading the order flow is remain objective and use common sense in reading the auction, going through those scenarios. When you go through the scenarios of what might unfold, then you're prepared for it when it starts to unfold. All right, what it might look like. and just go through the same process we're going through in here. Okay, so you can add this to any trading strategy whatsoever. The more objective I find that I can be reading the order flow, the more likely that move will unfold or not unfold, and if I'm not looking for for it to unfold, right? So if we don't see an edge, hey, we don't see an edge. That's that. Or sometimes yesterday we saw many times where it's like, well, I don't really quite see an edge at that time. It may, we'll still give a reading and give some insight where we think it'll go, due to the scenario. But how many times do we see it like right now, for example? Well, yeah, it should go lower. We're finding sellers try to trade it down into here and they're pulling, so 18 would be the next level. But it's the offer here, it's not actually that bad, but a lot of times it was really dark in here. Okay, so what does that mean? It's very similar to when it was really dark in here for this data in here. It's very easy for price to slip up into these areas. Okay, so that's when we don't have the greatest read. Now this is actually looking pretty good. See them, they are on the offer here, so we are still looking for this 18. Okay, so we're getting some insight here from the order book. Okay, and they're actually taking it right back down to 15. Okay, now see how it's a little darker in here now? So watch this. Okay, if we can get buyers back up here at 18, they should be able to make it back to 20. Okay, see, look at the reaction to this liquidity at 16.5. We found buyers. Okay, and we got a quick move back up. We didn't come up to 20, but we came up to 19. Okay, now sellers look like they want this liquidity here. So they'll likely trade it and then trade through it down to 15. And there we go. Okay, so I know these are quick moves, but guys, it's just reading the order flow. Like the reaction to this was buyers, and then it just kind of pooped out up here. We came back down. It looks like they want this. They did, and then if they do want it, they should be able to trade it a little bit lower. Okay, and it's still going lower here. Okay, down to 14. Okay, it should be able to hit 13. There we go. There's 13. Okay, now, well, let's see. We might get some buying interest in here. I don't see them quite yet. And we'd be looking for them right around here at 14.75. And then they can move it back to maybe this 18 level here. Okay, now see how we may not get that in here because look at the offer. It's not that dark, right? We see them pressing down a little bit in here. Okay, that's why we want to see them pull here on the offer, add on the bid, and we want that reaction by the aggressors to be more buying. Okay, anyway, the candle here, let's just read it. Yeah, we're down below these areas, and yep, still looking for it to go lower, basically. 07, and then maybe the figure 4,000. Right, the candle is moving back down into these swings here. 05 looks really good as well. All right, we're finally getting a trending move here. Paresh, so the dome is a separate product, or there's a dome also here in the columns if you want. So you can get both. The dome and the columns is really powerful as well. Jay, you have the global plan. Do you need to pay extra for stops and icebergs? You don't need, global plan is fine. To get stops and icebergs with the global let me show you. So go to bookmap.com. Okay, and then go to the more button here. This is kind of the walkthrough here of features, connectivity, pricing, education, crypto. The more button though, there's all sorts of stuff in here. Okay, so knowledge base, for example, and our Discord chat room, our forum, a lot of good stuff in here. But let's go to the Bookmap marketplace here. Okay, and we'll click on that and we'll go to the marketplace. This is the Bookmap marketplace in here. And then you should see stops and icebergs. Okay, you can just do a search for it, or MBO bundle. We'll just do a search for MBO. Here it is, MBO bundle. All right, you can see it's 134 a month. This is an add-on that we created. This marketplace here is for anybody's creations. Using our Bookmap API. So if you're a programmer in Java or Python now, you can create an add-on and sell it in here if you like, or create it for yourself and don't sell it in here. So we created this one in here for our global and global plus. So let's click on it. You can read about it in here, and more about it in here. Okay. That's where you'll find it. All right, now what you will need to have is a couple things. One is you need to have rhythmic data. Okay, so you cannot avoid that, and you have to be trading CME group futures, so that you cannot avoid either. All right, so those two requirements are necessary. About the global or global plus does not matter. Let's see. FIRS, what we're talking about here on stops and icebergs in the sub chart, this is iceberg buying in here. So it's trading, its price is going down, but into someone on the other side, they're kind of like a limit order. Only the tip of the iceberg is in the order book and fills, but then it immediately shoots to the to the order book, the next tip of the iceberg. Until it's all filled, okay, or canceled. All right, so yeah, there's some iceberg buying in here, right in here. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Okay, and other questions in here. All right, guys, you can see this is kind of rejected down here, right? Is it enough to trade back into the mean here, back to 25 to 28, or even 35 up here? I don't see it yet. Yeah, okay, Paresh, you're asking for the link to the webinar on the dome. Sure. All right, so go here, Bookmap on YouTube. Scroll down, you'll see it right here under Features and Components playlist. Click here, View Full Playlist. Okay, and it's the one on top. Now, this is the overview here of the dome. We did a 60-minute or a long video on it as well. So let me see. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, here it is, way down here. Okay, so at the very bottom, scroll down all the way to the bottom and you'll see the dome here. Okay, it's an hour and 40 minutes. All right, so yeah, I'm just going to give you the link here to the overall playlist. Okay, and go to that playlist and you'll find it in there. No, Paresh, there's just a free version of Bookmap. There is no trial. We did trials in the past. It's such a headache. It really is. The free version's great. You have delayed data for stocks and futures, and crypto is free for one crypto market, and that data is free. And that's live. So that's great. It gives you an excellent overview of what Bookmap is all about. The next step to take it further is try it for a month, get some data, and see if you like it. Very, very simple and straightforward. I mean, there's all sorts of, you just wouldn't believe what a headache it was with that trial period. And people gaming the system and like, oh God. Yeah, is that all they got? Captain Price, this is a good point. We are super feature rich, guys. We have all sorts of things, and we have more coming out as well. I mean, just this week we have something coming out. You'll find out more about it. It's a really powerful product. Okay, and that'll be part of Global Plus. Okay, that's one of the add-ons you'll get with Global Plus. So you're looking at a flip at 22. Yeah, kind of like yeah, and they traded here. Looks like, right? They traded into that high liquidity. Okay, so it's always the question about like, do we still find more buying or more selling? Okay, like they absorbed these sellers up here, okay, and there was still more buying pressure, right? But now we're starting to find some sellers. Welcome, Barcelona, Ishmael. You like that? Just pooped out. Yeah, Peter. I've been using Peter, so thought we'd move on from Peter. Give Peter a rest. Stefan, you want to look at my stops and iceberg setups? Sure. Okay, let me show you that right now. The on chart or the sub chart here, let's just show that first. Very simple. I like this setting very much. It works great for me. It does not work great for Scott. He doesn't like it. Okay, I like the summation. It's like cumulative volume delta. And just note that none of the vertical axes here are aligned. Okay, and I like that. So I know that they're not the same here. But I do get the graphical representation here that this is a pretty big accumulation of iceberg orders in here, and I know that. I also know this is a pretty big stop run here, right? So I get that kind of context down here by looking at this view. Scott likes to see the spikes. He's just looking for the big spike, and then he wants to zoom into it. I like looking at the context between these two lines in here to give me some insight. All right, and then the on chart, very powerful, pretty amazing. The details that this on chart indicator shows is pretty amazing. I find it amazing that you can see this you have this kind of transparency in the market. So I'll use the automatic threshold here for icebergs 148 or greater. So we're going to see just discrepancies between these two, subchart and on chart, because I'm making a filter here. Okay, so just so you know that. Yeah, here were those other icebergs in here, so they were executed for 748 down here, and that's this line in here. So pretty big. We're not missing anything right now. It's just back and forth in here, okay, in a pretty tight range. So we'll continue on with the questions. Okay, Stefan, did any more questions on that, on the settings? I really like that. I think it's very intelligent what the developers did with that automatic threshold setting. I like it. Chris, no comment. We might. I'm not sure. Let's see, Adam. Would you like to make some modification on the add-ons? Any chance? Okay. The open source. No, I don't think so. I think yeah, I think the API is closed on the Dome, on the Dome Pro. However, if you wanted, if you're looking for making add-ons, like for example, you wanted to make some trading strategies, then that's very simple. You can do that. You've been able to do that for years in Bookmap. All right, guys, I'm caught up there in YouTube. Let's see if there's anything over in Discord. Yeah, Chris, that's really good analysis. I would agree. In Discord, you're talking about a trend up strategy and a consolidation period right now. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's still kind of a bigger move to the upside. And that might start to unfold right now. Okay, we're just seeing a move back up. So let's take a look here. Now, what do we have? All right, and let's take a look at the market structure in here. Okay, well, yeah, back to this 25 level, which was that node in here that we saw, which I think it's not the point of control any longer. Well, we have a point of control indicator, so we can show that. Yeah, it actually still is. Okay, so it kind of went up here and went back down here. All right, let's zoom out a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, this could be just some massive bull flag, in fact. It's tested these lower levels in here after the data. I didn't really know what to make of the data this morning. Someone was talking about fundamentals yesterday, and because they're less purchasing right now. Does that mean that I don't really know what that means. I mean, that'll mean basically, it's the Fed's plan is working, but people seem to think that right now, I mean, with this move to the upside, that they're done tightening, and I don't know about that. I don't think they know about that. But the data is not bad, and this dollar strength is, and inflation. I mean, it's odd to see the euro below parity there. Okay, and the pound just getting pounded. All right. So anyway, yeah, market structure wise, yeah, I would agree with this, Chris. But let's take a step further and look at the bigger picture here. I mean, guys, we're still getting these like crazy mean reversion trades back and forth in here, outside edges being bought up or sold. And let's take a look at our candlestick chart. Okay, guys, this is the same process, exactly the same process we're doing in here on this analysis as we are doing in here when we're reading microstructure. Okay, and understanding that this is exhaustion here, looking for selling to come in and drive it lower. But where did it drive it down to? Down into where these buyers came in. That's where we found buyers, and they traded back up into here. If we get enough buying in here, and there's a flip of the order book there, which we won't see on the candlestick chart, but then it should go higher, right? If we get more buyers up here. So I mean, it is really the same analysis in here. We're understanding this as like, you know, like a double bottom in here or whatever, and then buying pressure. All right, so let's take that to over to here and look at the daily chart here on the look back period of a month. On the daily chart, wow, okay, well, quite a few wicks up here, or one big wick up here. All right, so well, that's some selling pressure or some profit taking up there. All right, and well, we're back down into right into this range here. Well, right at 15, or right where this top of this wick is. So, you know, although the data was the move to the upside, looking at this in here, like this gives us a different picture, Chris. So, you know, let's move from because the daily is not telling us too much, except that we know this is all bullish in here. String of days, all bullish, all of it, all the way back down into here, which is back on the oh, this is a 4 hour. Sorry about that, because the daily bars weren't working yesterday. There we go. Here's our daily bars. Okay. Yeah, so back here on November 9th, but you can even go all the way back to here where this move started. Okay, so that would be October 13th. Okay, strong move, pull back, strong move. Maybe it comes up into here. You know, 41.50 up into this wick up here. All right, now the hourly here is in the middle, and it's just back and forth. Well, I'm sorry, pull back and then a move back up. So this is bullish in here. And what about our 15-minute chart here? Here's where we opened, cash open, and it just kind of dribbled off to the downside here. Okay, but it opened up high, it gapped, in fact, and then it filled the gap. Not seeing much here on the 15, to be honest. Not much at all. Okay, so so that 15-minute chart's not telling us too much. That hourly chart wasn't telling us too much. Yeah, Don, this is hello. This is one of the advantages of the Bookmap desktop version. Okay, we've developed it quite a bit further than the Thinkorswim version. So we have all sorts of add-ons that are really, really nice. Stops and icebergs being one of the most important ones. If you want that, then you'll have to get the Bookmap desktop version. Johan, how do you confirm to enter a trade? What do you look for? What do you wait to see in Bookmap to confirm? Many things. Okay, but you know, we're looking for some sort of edge in here in the order flow, and usually is a combination or a context of strong volume and strong order book, right? And a lot of times it just hits us over the head. It's just, the participants are telling us in here where price might go. Okay, so right now, boy, I just don't see much of anything in here. There's buyers, sellers, buyers trying to buy again, come up to 2025 point of control. Anyway, we went through the process, Johan, on many of these, in many of these examples, and then how can you look to get in? Well, there's so many different ways to trade. That's one of the reasons why I'll be happy to go through how I trade or how I look at it, or many different ways of looking at it. It's not a trade recommendation room. So and what you're going to take away from this and learn from these webinars is a lot more than just like buying or selling. Once you understand the order flow and you start to look for some of these things in the order flow, that's when you can look for the move to unfold to the areas you think. So we were looking for something strong in here, like I said, strong. Well, in here we had strong book on the offer, strong selling. We were looking for a move into 15. Okay, and we kind of got in there a little bit late. We're up here, and then I think I kind of answered a question or something, and the setup is this one: the move back down from the sellers back down to point of control and through it. And actually, point of control was still up here. Okay, well, anyway, this high volume node here at 25. We see this move so many times. If you do not see any sort of like on the bid here activity, or you don't see a slowdown of sellers, they're going to press right on through the bottom into high liquidity on the bid, which is exactly what it did. And then you see again in here strong selling, and then strong offer here, not enough buyers to even tangle with it, looking for the move into 15. Okay, how would you get involved? Many different ways. I would have probably gotten in with a market sell in here, looking to take some off maybe down here at 20, and then definitely a target at 15, right? Especially with this strong offer in here. That was our target. And we don't know. It could have, might have been kicking myself like many times. This was my target. I'm just looking for this liquidity here. It may have come down to 4,000 at that time though, right? Well, it didn't. Okay, it came back down into about this 10 or 9, and then it's just been chopping around ever since. We saw some other moves in here. We saw this one, I think, to the upside. Okay, again, 2 point of control and through it. So we're looking for the other side of the range, which was, it was this 30 level in here. Okay, so we were looking for that, right? And we go through the scenarios in here, what to look for, what would it be like, because we know that we're looking for this kind of mean reversion trade, right? So you'd be looking for your buyers in here. I would have probably been in somewhere around here or here. It's a small move, but takes them off at 25, and they pushed it through the point of control. Same move, same setup basically. So we're looking for 30, other side of the range, which was 28, I think, and then 30. So there's 2 setups there. Okay, that I recall. There were some other little trades or trade ideas as well. All right, candlestick guys, what do you see here? All right, now I would marry here, like your together the large selling dots here together with this structure. Could not make a higher high, looking for sellers in here, okay, to trade into and through 15 and maybe on down to 10 and maybe lower. All right, now what do we have here? See, now this is where, that's what I'm looking for, but I don't like it. All right, to answer the question with Don, I think it was, no, Johan. Here's why. We talked about this earlier. Well, how strong is this offer in here? It's not so strong. It's pretty dark in here. So this can just go back and forth in here between 25 or 23 and 15, right? So is it higher probability due to the order flow in here? No, it is not higher probability. So we're not necessarily, we're taking that one off the table. Okay, now look at our candlestick now. Well, aren't we glad we saw that and noticed that in the order flow? Okay, that would have gotten you in the hook here on the sell side, right? And now it looks like it's going to pan out actually, but we'll see. Maybe it won't, right? I just don't like it. Stay away from it, because we're seeing participants in this auction here. What's in between the candle and what's happening in the current market it's not so clear what their position is. So we stay away. Okay, that's a few different ideas for you. Oh, you're welcome. Let's see. Bree, when Bookmap has new add-ons that come with Bookmap, yeah, you will need to go and update them yourself, the add-ons, Bree. And where to go is you'll probably be alerted, but go to the Bookmap marketplace. I'm sorry, go to the knowledge base. You'll be alerted in an email as well. All right, about it. It'll be on social media. It'll be here in Discord and everything. So you'll get the message. Anyway, you can also go to the knowledge base here under the more button and go to the add-on section in here, and then here are all the add-ons. When there are updates in the add-ons, just come in here, read installation here, click on that, and then you'll find the add-on, the direct link here to the add-on. Okay, click on that and you'll see it downloads right here. Okay, for stops and icebergs. All right. Good question. Guys, look at this, right? So this is a total failure of that candle pattern in here. Getting people to, and that, look at how that candle kind of closed in here. It went down below it, but look at the buying coming in, right? We didn't like it in here. God, and then we missed it. We missed the move here. Well, let's go and look at it in retrospect here. So we didn't like it. Likely, I thought likely we'd still trade through it down to kind of 08 down here. Okay, because there's a little bit more selling in here. The structure is still negative. Now, what ended up happening? Strong buying comes in and disrupts the whole thing. And then they come back up to the top of the range here and through our 25 level and almost to 30. Basically to 29. Yeah, I probably would have missed this one too, to be honest. Here's why. Again, strong buying, that's great. Well, maybe to ride it up to 25 or so, maybe. But just because of the strong buying, and they pulled here at this area here, and they did add a little bit on the bid in here, as you can see. Okay, so that's not actually bad in here, right? And then looking for that move up into this liquidity here, maybe 25. You can see what it did. It came to this liquidity here at 29. Okay, and they're filled. So now we're looking for 30, and there's 30. Let's see if we can still get more buying here. This is strong. So now what does the bid look like? It's not bad. So let's get to 32 and maybe 34 and 35 here. Let's zoom out. Okay. Now let's zoom out to look at some of our levels in here. This is where we drop from here. Okay, so actually this kind of gives us a little different picture. Okay, still strong buying. So this is where it failed though, and this is where sellers have been in control for this whole time. Right, but yeah, I'm actually looking to see if we can get more buying and trade higher here. I like 34 above the swings up here. This is their chance. Okay, so let's read it in here. Yeah, they're on the bid here. That's good. Okay, we're up pretty high though. So, you know, we're going to find our sellers trade it back down to 25 here. Okay, Daniel. Yeah, yeah. So you had a stop hit because of some of the liquidity, it looks like. Well, give Bookmap a try. See if you can. All right, guys. Well, let's. We went through a lot of different things in here. We went through some candles, reading the order flow. We're looking at in a pretty choppy environment in here. We're looking for some specific moves to hit some areas of liquidity, and then at that point we'll just kind of reassess. Answered a lot of questions, good questions in here. We talked about the data release here and some fundamentals as well. It's been a very choppy session, but some good moves as well. Typically the choppy sessions, like you know, like yesterday, a lot of them we kind of stayed away from. And some of these we're looking for the move to unfold. So yeah, European close here, Excalibur, and yeah, not really sure what I think of it right now. I kind of like this idea of the move to 30, but you can see the mean reversion guys are back in here already, moving it back to 25. I might bounce off of 25, look for that, and then back up into the tops of these wicks up in here, okay, or candles. All right, so guys, if you like this, please give us a like, show some love for the education here. Come to our Discord channel. Tom B is up next. You can go over and watch his webinar. It's on Discord as well as here on YouTube. So you should be redirected right over to it. We've got options with Doug at 1:30 p.m. and then Algo Boys at 2:30 p.m. to the close. Very different traders, very different insights, all three of them. Lots of stuff going on in here, guys. Great community. So yeah, if you're still intrigued, then jump over to our Discord and go check it out. There's a lot of stuff going on over there. All right, and that you can probably get a lot of questions answered there. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody, and we will catch up tomorrow with JTrader and go through some live trading with him on stocks. Thanks.